I used to get hate mail from groups called the White Knights, the John Birch Society, and they'd mail me the letters at my home. So they knew they had an advantage over me. They knew where I was, but I didn't know who they were. That first year, I think I was arrested 12 or 13 times. And before that, I had never been arrested. Then the second year, I was arrested more than 25 times. And I would get out of jail. They'd arrest me, and I'd get out of jail just in time to go to court for other trumped up charges, and they'd send me right back to jail. That went on for 3 or 4 years, man. It wore me out. Always organizing, studying, learning, getting threatened by different groups. I used to get hate mail from groups called the White Knights, the John Birch Society, and they'd mail me the letters at my home. So they knew they had an advantage over me. They knew where I was, but I didn't know who they were. And so I feel sorry for my wife at that time, because whenever I wouldn't show up for dinner or for something or other, she knew that I was in jail. And she saw it firsthand what they would do. They saw me driving down the street, the cops, and I remember this one time I was driving my girlfriend home, and a cop saw me. He was writing a ticket for another car. And this cop saw me, and he stopped doing he stopped the ticket writing, and he started running down the street while I was driving. I couldn't believe it. And I thought, no, I could outrace this guy, but what if he pulls out his gun and starts shooting, and then hits my girlfriend? So I thought, okay, I better just pull over. So I pulled over, and the cop caught up with me, and he was out of breath and everything, and he says, "You're Rocky Hernandez, huh?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay." He said, "If I were you," and he touched his gun, patted his gun, his sidearm, and he said, "If I were you, I'd get out of town and stay out of town." And I didn't say anything. I'm not going to give him a reason to pull me out of the car or anything like that. But that was the way it was for 3 years. And it took me like 5 or 6 years to get out of going to jail, going to see my probation officer, them extending my probation for another year or two. Every time I went to jail, they give me more time on my probation.
Because you were an organizer.
Yep, that was the reason. I became friends with some of the judges in the courts over there, because they knew who I was, because all of a sudden I was going to their courtroom all the time, and they wouldn't, when it came time for me to go, take the stand or do, when they called my case, the judge would put the court in recess, take me to the chambers, and just talk with me. And they'd say, "Okay, so let's go out there and we'll do." I didn't even have any attorneys, but they knew what I was doing, and they knew that I was there because of politics. And they knew that I wasn't a criminal, because I wasn't really doing any criminal charges or anything. Although, they'd say, "We caught him stealing this, we caught him doing that or the other."
Trumped up charges. Yeah,
they were just making up things. Well, what happened was, they recognized me because they had a poster of me, I found out, at all the precincts in Denver. And they had a poster of me because of the organizing that I was doing. And they said, "Keep your eye, look for this guy right here." And I guess they were telling, the word was to bring him down.
Lucky for killing.
Yeah, I'm lucky they didn't kill me. But, I wasn't doing anything violent. And I was respectful to the cops too, I had nothing against them. Except for, they started shooting various individuals in my organization. They shot Junior Martinez. He was a Black Beret. And they killed him.
March 17th, 1973.
Yes, sir?
49 years ago.
Yep, it's been a long time. He was a young man. I'd say he was probably 20 years old, 21 maybe. We were all young. Maybe not even that old. He's probably about 20, 21. He was a good guy, talented, very smart, very intelligent. And it wore me out. It just plain wore me out. I couldn't get a decent job. I was starting to raise a family. I got no help from the Crusade. Corky went to a couple of my court things, but when you're talking about going to court 50, 60 times in a couple of years and you go to support somebody twice, that ain't going to cut it. It doesn't do it, I needed more support and I didn't get it. So I had if it weren't for some of the Black Berets showing up at some of these things with other people, I'd have been all by myself most of the time. But so that's basically what pushed me out of the Chicano movement. I just got wore out, and I got tired of having to get a lawyer and pay it out of my pocket.